For years now, we've all been hearing the promise, right? Drones delivering our packages, inspecting bridges, maybe even rushing life-saving medicine across town. The technology is absolutely incredible, but, well, our skies have stayed surprisingly empty. Today, we're going to dive into the FAA's massive new plan that's designed to finally change all of that. So that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, you've seen the videos from Amazon, Zipline, and all these other companies. The drones can fly themselves, they can dodge obstacles, and they can drop a package on a dime. So the holdup? It's not the tech. It has always been the rules. You see, to really get why things have been so slow, you have to look at the current system. Right now, pretty much every company that wants to fly a drone for a real business has to go to the FAA and ask for a special one-off permission slip, called an exemption. Just imagine trying to build a national shipping network when every single route needs its own custom-made, slow, and totally unpredictable approval. It's not scalable. It actually ends up stifling the very innovation it's supposed to help. And that right there is the heart of the drone dilemma. The rulebook we have today just wasn't built for a world with thousands of automated aircraft flying around. To really unlock this drone economy, we need an actual set of rules, not just this patchwork of one-off exceptions. And the key to unlocking all of this really comes down to one acronym: BVLOS. It stands for Beyond Visual Line of Sight, and it is, without a doubt, the single most important capability. I mean, for a drone to deliver a package across town or inspect 20 miles of power lines, it has to fly way beyond where a human pilot can physically see it. And right now, flying BVLOS is the exact thing that requires that super complex permission slip. This whole case-by-case approval process has been the single biggest bottleneck for the entire industry. It makes it almost impossible for companies to create long-term business plans, to expand their services, or, to tell their investors with any real certainty what they can do and when they can do it. The whole industry has been stuck in this kind of regulatory holding pattern for years. Well, that holding pattern is exactly what the FAA is trying to break with its new solution. It's a brand new set of regulations, and it's called Part 108. You should think of this as the official, long-awaited rulebook for the commercial drone industry, one that creates a clear, predictable path forward for everyone. So here's the bottom line. Part 108 is all about moving away from that slow, one permission at a time system and moving toward a standardized framework that everybody in the industry can follow. The goal is to finally create a stable, transparent system that allows drone operations to scale up in a big way. So what does Part 108 actually do? Well, it's really built on three big pillars. The first one deals with the drone operators themselves. It creates two new categories for them, based on just how complex their flights are going to be. Okay, so the new system is split into two tiers. On one side, you've got something called an operating permit. Think of this as the ticket for smaller, lower-risk operations, like a company delivering packages with, say, fewer than 100 drones, or a farm flying over sparsely populated fields. Then, on the other side, you have the operating certificate. Now, this is for the big leagues. We're talking larger, much more complex operations, like flying hundreds of drones over a dense city. And that tier, as you'd expect, involves a much more in-depth, hands-on review from the FAA. And this really gets to the core idea behind Part 108. It's a risk-based approach. So instead of having one single rule that fits everybody, the level of FAA oversight is actually matched to the potential risk of what you're trying to do. This is smart because it allows for flexibility and innovation while keeping safety the #1 priority. All right, so we've covered the pilots and the operators. That brings us to the second pillar, the drones themselves. I mean, how do you prove that thousands of new types of aircraft are actually safe enough to be flying over all of our heads? Well, the FAA realized that the process they use for certifying a passenger jet, which can take years and cost millions of dollars, makes absolutely no sense for a drone that might only be in service for a couple of years and, most importantly, has no people on board. So they've come up with a totally new, streamlined process. They're calling it airworthiness acceptance, and here's basically how it works in 3 steps. First, manufacturers build their drones to meet a set of industry-developed safety standards that the FAA has already signed off on. Second, the manufacturer simply tells the FAA, hey, we built this drone according to the rules. It's called a declaration of compliance. And third, the FAA accepts that declaration, and boom, the drone is good to go. This is a game changer because it shifts the heavy lifting to industry standards, which can evolve way faster than government regulations. So now we've got rules for the operators and a blueprint for safe drones. But that raises a massive question, right? How in the world do you manage all that new traffic? And that brings us to the third pillar, a brand new air traffic control system designed just for the low-altitude sky. The FAA isn't planning on having controllers sitting in a tower manually directing every single delivery drone. No way. Instead, they're proposing a decentralized, automated system that's run by certified third-party companies. You can think of them as the digital traffic cops for these new drone highways. Now, the foundation of this entire new system is a concept they call strategic deconfliction. This isn't about drones reacting to each other in midair at the last second. It's all about planning ahead. Before a drone even takes off its entire flight path, we're talking a 3D corridor through the sky for a very specific window of time is electronically reserved. Here's a really simple way to think about it. It's like before you even get on the highway, you book lane free between exit 10 and exit 12, specifically from 10:05 to 10:08 a.m. The system makes sure that no one else can reserve that exact same piece of road at that exact same time. This simple idea drastically reduces the chance of mid-air collisions before the drone even leaves the ground. But okay, what if something goes wrong? What if a drone goes off course? That's where conformance monitoring comes in. It's the system's safety net. It's another automated service that is constantly watching all the drone flights in real time to make sure they're all sticking to their pre-booked paths. If a drone strays, the system immediately sends out an alert to the operator and to any other aircraft nearby. Okay, so that was a lot of rules and technical jargon, I know. But what does all of this actually mean for our daily lives? Why should you even care about any of this? Well, the benefits are potentially huge. We're talking about making infrastructure inspections way safer and more efficient. No more people dangling from bridges or helicopters flying low over power lines. We're talking about a whole new era of logistics, from getting your packages faster to, more importantly, the rapid delivery of life-saving medical supplies, organs, and blood between hospitals, just flying right over a massive traffic jam. And it's going to transform agriculture too, making things like crop spraying more precise and much safer. And just to give you a sense of the scale here, this isn't just about little 5-pound delivery drones. Get this, the proposed rules could allow for agricultural drones that weigh up to 1,320 pounds. These are serious, heavy-duty flying machines designed for real industrial work. And of course, with thousands of new aircraft buzzing around, you have to think about security. That's why the TSA is also involved here. They're developing a new security framework to make sure that this new aerial infrastructure is protected from anyone who might want to use it for malicious purposes. So here's the crucial point. After years and years of waiting, a comprehensive, predictable rulebook for the drone economy is finally on the horizon. It tackles everything: the aircraft, the operators, and the traffic jam problem. The plan is here. So the only real question left is, once those skies are finally unlocked, are we truly ready for what comes next?